What's up, guys? You are just in time for today's video. We are talking about the players that's been traded the most in the last 48 hours, and I think you should buy, sell, or hold those players. Let's find out. So this right here is the list of players that's been traded the most in the last 48 hours. Obviously, some of these players have been traded away, some of these players have been traded for, and some of these players you kind of want to hold, but let's talk about it. As far as my trade for candidates, first on the list, Amari Cooper. Can he be Stefon Diggs 2.0? We've seen Stefon Diggs be a borderline fringe wide receiver 1, high upside wide receiver 2 in the Vikings offense before he got to the Buffalo Bills, and that's when he became a stout wide receiver 1 and ascended into that top tier because of Josh Allen. Can Amari Cooper do the same? He's had wide receiver 1 seasons, and he's had, for the most part, high-end wide receiver 2 seasons, but he's never really been a stout top 5 wide receiver, or even a top 10 wide receiver for that matter. Can he be that in Buffalo? We'll soon find out. He had a touchdown in his first game. He barely knew how to play, but already scored a touchdown. Now, yes, it might have been an accident, but it doesn't matter. They're still looking his way. And he finally found his alpha. And I do think that he's going to soak up targets for Josh Allen. And Josh Allen, if you haven't noticed, has been playing MVP football right now. My number 2 trade for target, Davante Adams. Right now, I do think that he's actually a buy low candidate. He obviously had, not that great of a game week 1 with the Jets. Again, the offense looks terrible. And you still have Garrett Wilson there. You still have Aaron Rodgers, who's dealing with multiple injuries, but use that in your favor. Again, I don't think his value is going to get any lower than it is right now. And I do think he's going to get on the same page with Aaron Rodgers. At the very least, he's going to be looking for Davante Adams in the red zone. And we know they have that connection. Another trade for candidate is Marvin Harrison. Yes, he had a bad game this past week, but if you watch the tape, he was open a lot of times. Kyler just couldn't get him the ball. For whatever reason, these guys are just not on the same page. But again, he's a rookie. We all know that the second half of the season is important for rookies, and the breakout usually happens in the second half. We've seen what he can be. We've seen his boom weeks. He had 2 touchdown games, and he has great games. They're far and few between as of right now. But again, that second half, he's going to break out, and I do think him and Kyler is going to get on the same page. And last but not least, George Pickens. He is the clear-cut wide receiver 1 in this offense, in this new offense with Russell Wilson as the quarterback. Doesn't really matter what you think of Justin Fields compared to Russell Wilson. Justin Fields might be a better fantasy quarterback because of the rushing, but better real life NFL quarterback, I have to give it to Russell Wilson. And he can get these wide receivers involved in the passing offense. And that's what we want for fantasy football. Obviously, as of this recording, the Steelers hasn't traded for any, wide receivers, but they've been linked to many of them. So if they trade for a wide receiver, obviously you don't want to try and buy George Pickens, but you get my point. As far as my trade away candidates, first up on the list, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and really the entire Miami Dolphins. Devon Achane is not on this list, but you can throw him in there with the Miami offense. Yes, Tua is coming back, but all it takes is one little knock on the head, one little bump to knock him out for pretty much the rest of the season. He gets any more injuries, he's done for the rest of the season, and he is injury prone. On top of that, are we even sure what his offense is going to look like with Tua coming back? I mean, it's been a couple weeks since he's played, but even with Tua, this Miami Dolphins wasn't looking as prolific as they was last year. I think you can sell high on Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and get more consistent players. Next, Devontae Smith. It doesn't look like, Dallas Goedert is going to play this week. He's going to be back sooner than later, probably next week. But again, use that to your advantage. Jalen Hurts hasn't supported a wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 at all this season for the most part. One week it's Devontae Smith. The next week is A.J. Brown. And A.J. Brown is obviously that alpha, and he's going to be number 1 target for the most part. It looks like Saquon Barkley is taking on that second option in this offense, which is not good for Devontae Smith. But again, try and sell him if you can. And last but not least, let's talk about Kareem Hunt. Not only CEH coming in, and he's going to take at least a couple of carries here and there, but Pacheco is coming back soon. Yes, I understand he's one of the top few running backs who's getting 20 carries a game or 20 opportunities a game. And that's very difficult, especially in this high-end Kansas City Chiefs offense. But that's just it. They're not that great of an offense. So if you can sell Kareem Hunt for a better running back, a better long-term solution at the running back position, because again, Pacheco's coming back. He is, at the very least, they're going to split time, or worst case scenario, Kareem Hunt could be relegated to just a handcuff role. If you can get someone with long-term value, even if you're taking a step down, and a couple of players that I'm thinking about holding, you don't really know what to do with right now. You can't sell them. You can't trade for them. A couple of handcuff players who do have starter value if they see the field. Bucky Irvin and Tank Bixby. Now, Bucky Irvin is going to miss this week with a toe injury, which is, again, even more reason to you're not going to sell him, and you really don't want to buy him because you're not sure how long this issue can go on. And again, they already have a 3-back committee with Sean Tucker, Bucky Irvin, and Rachaad White. So now it's going to give more touches to Rachaad White and Sean Tucker to see what they can do. And that's not good for Bucky Irving. But at the end of the day, just a wait and see approach, because if any one of these guys takes over the backfield, there is value to be had in this Buccaneers offense. Same thing with Tank Bixby. Travis Etienne is obviously coming back sooner rather than later. And when he comes back, it might be a committee, but at the end of the day, Tank Bixby is going to get touches in this offense because we've seen what he can do. We've seen what he's done for the last couple of weeks. They're not going to just relegate him to just a handcuff role. You know, he's going to get at the very least 5 to, maybe 5 to 10 opportunities a game. He's not going to be startable once Travis Etienne comes back. If Travis Etienne continues to have injury problems, we've seen Bixby be an RB1. That's my buy, sell, and hold candidates. Thanks for following along. We'll see you next time.